Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 140.
Subtitle, Shutting Out the Cat.
Just slamming the door on a cat, unfortunately, but I'm in a hurry. I'm in between coaching basketball games. Raced down.
I could not be in less of a hurry.
I know you got nothing but time, but I raced down to Toronto this morning, coached a game. Your brother's team lost against a really aggressive team from Windsor, really far away. But anyways.
That's where Impact was. You could have gone to Impact yesterday,
Right.
stayed the night, and this is why you're stupid.
And then that's one of the reasons, at least.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so raced home in insane weather. So I know you were thinking you're going out tonight with the boys, but you might want to move that.
We don't seem to care.
You might want to move that indoors somewhere. It's like
Walmart.
2 degrees, like 70-kilometer winds, and rain, like nonstop rain. So there was even ice this morning. So spring has not arrived, unfortunately. But I don't know. Welcome back. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of wrestling in a little bit. We always start out bantering. There's timestamps if you want to skip and get to the wrestling stuff. But the big news for us personally is that we got those tickets, huh?
That's right, yesterday.
So we are going to go to Forbidden Door. What is that, June 25th, I believe? Yep. We did not get great seats because, man, I sent you a screenshot.
Well, it was hard enough to get tickets for freaking Dynamite.
Yes.
So
I was 400.
Sending a pay-per-view and it's New Japan, forget about it.
I think it was, so obviously we're not part of the pre-sale, which we need to figure out how to do because apparently that's when all the tickets get sold. But
yeah, I wish we had figured that out after Dynamite for this time, but I guess we'll have to figure it out next time.
So it opened Friday at 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was in right then. Basically, I was 430 something. I sent you the picture in the queue. So by the time the 436th person in line to get tickets, there was maybe a few hundred tickets left. So we don't have good seats, but I've been in that venue enough watching basketball games and things to know that the 300s, it's really, really steep. So what happens when it's steep is you don't have to, you can see over everybody in front of you and you're not really that far. So I'm kind of interested to see how these seats are because then we'll know for future.
Bank, right?
We're in Scotia, so it's big. It's going to be probably 10 to 15,000 people probably. But we got the tickets anyway. So they weren't even crazy expensive. Anything on the lower bowl was already over $1,000 by the time I looked, but we got ours for under $100 up. Well, that's not true because Ticketmaster are the blood-sucking leeches that they are. Our $85 tickets become significantly more than $85 by the time they throw all their ridiculous, whatever it is, handling fees and service fees and blah, 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 gouge. They're up over 100. But anyways, I just want to be there, right? So I'm pretty excited for that. So
yeah, I don't know how you I wouldn't pass up that opportunity.
No, so I felt like your mom there. She's usually one getting tickets for us, but she didn't reply to my text, so I was like, I can't wait. I got to get in there.
Well,
so
can't risk that.
No. Other news, how was Comic-Con? I know it's not fresh. I've talked to you about it, but people might be wondering, you were at Comic-Con for 2 days, right? Stayed in a hotel with some friends in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Had a good time overall?
Yeah, it was good. It was pretty tiring, but it was good.
And you were malnourished for a couple days, it sounds like.
What do you mean?
That you basically weren't eating lunch because it just
no, I didn't eat lunch. I almost got a booster juice at Eaton Center, but I didn't find it. I just saw someone booster juice. I was like, oh, that's a good idea. But we had to get going.
Yeah, so it just wasn't convenient. But you picked up some figures and some pop vinyls, spent far too much money, but that kind of was your plan, and you'd been saving for it, so I guess
not
whatever.
As bad as Hancock. He blew his money on the first day.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
So you made it to day 2 at least?
Yeah, and I did get a boost, but still, I didn't spend it all.
And one of your pop vinyls is me. That we don't have video, but it's displayed on my side here.
We got a Cobb Vanth Funko Pop, so any Star Wars fans will now know somewhat what you look like.
Even though I've stayed anonymous for 140 episodes.
So I found a Cobb Vanth Funko Pop with helmetless, so that looks like it's pretty bang on. I feel like so that's really nice.
If you were to make a Funko Pop of me, I don't disagree.
It would feel like that would be it. You maybe just color the beard slightly differently, and then you could honestly just put the head out like that.
Right.
So I got that one, and then I got Guy from Free Guy because I've watched that movie 8 times, so that just made sense.
Mm-hmm.
I got MODOK from Ant-Man
because
he's hilarious.
Yeah, I knew that.
He was awesome, and then I got Meek from the 4th Thor because Meek.
And that was a super cheap one, right? I think
that
was
one was
$10
or something, which is pretty good.
Canadian.
That's what it was, right? That was the thing too, because I think Meek's kind of funny, but also if it's that cheap, I'm not gonna not do that. Then I got from GameStop because they had the GameStop. I think it was the one at Eaton Center where I got the Funkos. I got like a 2-pack of. I got Darth Maul from Clone Wars Season 7, and then Gar Saxon.
Nice.
I think you can get those as singles because I think Hancock did, but I got like the 2-pack one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the only other one I got was the special edition Darth Maul with like the dark saber and the lightsaber that like I think it was like $60 or something. No, $60. I thought it was. I got it for 50 at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
That was the one I was like mainly after. So.
And speaking of Star Wars, I enjoyed Mandalorian this week.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
It was a somewhat polarizing one, I think.
I think so.
What episode was it? Were we caught up?
No.
So it's the one where
from last week. It's the chapter 19, I think.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it actually because it was different, right? They really didn't focus on Mando too much. They went off. And then I know you picked up. Sorry, I sidetracked there. You got a Darby Allin.
Oh yeah, so I got
This will be your figuring it out this week.
Yeah,
because there's no
pretty
updates.
Much. I got a Darby Allin, and I got it because Darby Allin figures are sweet, but also because it's the Target exclusive one. So that's the most bang.
And if you don't know, we don't have Target
right,
in Canada. So
stuff like that is the most bang for my buck because it's something I really wanted, and also I feel like that's my shot to get it.
You're not finding it elsewhere,
right?
And we don't have Target anymore.
Ditto for I got a Legends Ultimate Edition Batista, which I thought is pretty cool, and then also Target exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, because the Legends series is Target exclusive, but somehow we still get Legends at
Toys R Us,
yes. Right? Like, you've seen, like, DX, like, Junkyard Dog, like, that's Legends, right? So the Batista is, but...
Because Toys R Us exists here, so we don't have Target, but we have Toys R Us.
It's a somewhat trade-off, but...
Yep.
I haven't seen Ultimate Editions in stores since, like, the first or second series, and we're, like... we're at 16 now, and there's been so. Anyways, I don't think I would have found the Batista then. They also had like the Target, the fan takeover ones. Like there was DX, Triple H, WrestleMania 6, Ultimate Warrior, 9 to 5 Shawn, the red and white, which I really wanted, but that one was $90. So if that was cheaper, I would have gotten that because I think like the accessories, it's got like the it had like the chat pants back in the 90s. Like he has those, and those are really cool. But I would have gotten that, and then I think there's like a Goldberg, but it's really plain. The only difference with that Goldberg is who's I'll get to later. It had the 2 belts and it has like the smoke mouth, which is kind of weird. But so they had like a bunch of Ultimate Editions, and there's like a bunch of Elites too. They had the Chase Boogeyman, which I almost got, but I didn't. And I almost got Grimes, but I didn't. I got the ringside exclusive TNT Cody with like the purple and silver tights, and then he's got the original TNT title.
Yeah, which
is kind of cool. And then I got Elite 63, I think, Aleister Black, which is a little old now, which I got that because I don't, it's not current, so I can't get that anymore. And
right.
I did like it. I never saw it in stores, so it's got like that same weird textured kick pad that my Elite 86 Aleister has, but it's got the gray on the other side, so that one's kind of cool. So I got
pretty good haul. You got
those,
there,
and then I think that's 4. So then my 5th one was there's another GameStop across from Eaton Center for some reason.
Yeah.
So I got Ricky Starks Unrivaled 9, I think, because I do want a Starks, and so that one's pretty cool. I almost got Hobbs too, but I figured I would just stick to Starks.
Makes sense.
And I would have gotten the 2K, but they did not have it.
Yeah, reviews for that game are fantastic.
I want to get it because I just saw like people upload crazy crap.
Pass me the charging cord while we're at it.
Sorry. Yeah, hold on.
Behind the curtains, everybody.
Okay, I got it. Like someone upload like an empty arena, or you can play War Games Arena without the cage.
Nice.
Which it's kind of glitched, but like I don't know, it's cool, and like there's a bunch of stuff. Anyways, I would have gotten that if I could, but I also got this. This one place is selling gold like foil bills.
Yeah.
With Marvel characters on them, so I got one with Deadpool on it.
It is kind of cool.
And with the protector sleeve. And then I got like if you ever seen like those graphics where it's like when the different direction you look at them, they look like a different thing, like the changing thing. So I got like this big Star Wars one. And it's got Darth Bane, who I had the books that I read about, Darth Revan, and Nihilus, who's the guy who sucks the life out of planets.
Great.
So that was cool too. And then there's this place that sold custom Lego minifigures, and you could get 4 for $20.
You got a bunch of those.
So I went there 3 times. I got the entirety of Delta Squad, which is a clone commando squad from like there's this like 2005 game that I downloaded and played a little bit of and then didn't finish. But one of them was in Bad Batch episode 11. So
Nice.
that's why I did that. Then I got Star Killer from Force Unleashed with like the cool helmet, which because he's sweet, and those games are really fun. Then I got Nihilus, the aforementioned Planet Sucker.
Yep.
Previz looks, he had a sick Darksaber. I got Crosshair because Crosshair. That just makes sense. And then I got 4 different clones because they had like insane printing. Because when people make the custom minifigures, they print them like they do printing that Lego wouldn't do themselves, like on the side of the torsos and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like really like. So I think I got Fives, who's like a main character in Clone Wars, and I got random clones. I think it was like Commander Doom. I think one of them was like Hammer or something, and then one was Blitz. I think they're all like different colors, but those are cool too. And I think that's it.
That's the inventory.
I
So
believe.
now you're broke again, but you just got to start
Somewhat.
working and saving some more money.
Mhm.
Nice. We got to get into talking some wrestling because this can't be like I need 2 hours to record and produce this.
I actually have one thing I wanted to ask though is a
Uh-oh.
week from Mania, how are you feeling?
Very not interested.
That's interesting because I'm in a similar boat, but I feel like this year I am kind of interested.
There's a few matches
because
I'm
I think I'm honestly, if I had to really think about it, I'm most hyped for the tag title match.
Yeah,
I'm really excited for that
too.
actually.
Yes.
I
actually don't mind Seth Rollins, Logan Paul might be good.
It doesn't excite me, but like it doesn't bother me either.
Yeah.
Nothing. Okay, not nothing bothers me, but there's not as much that bothers me like last year. Because last year I was out on it.
It feels like there's more like rostered talent facing rostered talent, which I prefer.
Because like
that's something.
Even Logan Paul now he's got more experience.
He's
so
a roster member, yeah,
somewhat, yeah. But I'm decently excited for the main event, which is Cody and Roman. Like, Cena Theory should be good. Like I don't know, things look decent. The only thing I really don't want to watch Lesnar and Omos, and they have these random 4-way tag showcases which feel like replacing the battle royals.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting because we got like a week left, and so
I wouldn't say I'm like excited about anything, but I think there's
I'm looking forward to some things.
There's less that I'm like I don't want to see that.
Oh wait, the IC title
compared to last year.
That should be good. Yeah, actually.
Yeah, there's last year there was things we knew we weren't going to enjoy.
Oh yeah, right? I didn't even care about them. I mean, it was Lesnar and Roman again. Like I don't know. This is a lot better. So I'm kind of interested to preview that next week.
Yeah.
That'll be next week, though, right?
We will definitely do that.
Yeah. And Stand and Deliver. Next week's going to be beefy then.
It is. So that's okay. I should have more time. Because after this weekend, your brother doesn't have any basketball till provincials. So we get a bit of time off. But anyways, let's start talking about some actual wrestling in our first segment where we'll look at some of the week's news and rumors. All right, so taking a look at ratings, this week's NXT averaged 550,000 viewers, which is down 6.8%, earned a 0.12 in the key demographic, down 20%. So lowest audience total, hey, it's not second lowest. What's going on? It's crazy.
It's an off week.
They've changed the system. Lowest audience total since December 6th of last year, partly explained by it aired this week head-to-head against the World Baseball Classic Championship game between...
That sounds like a thing that happened.
I think it was Japan defeated the United States in that one. So stiffer competition than normal NBA stuff probably. And episode of Dynamite this week did 945,000 average viewers, which is up 12% from last week. Earned a 0.33 in the key demo, which is up a whopping 22.2. So it looks like that demo just walked away from NXT and walked right into Dynamite or something. But anyways, it is the second highest. There you go. That's
there
the sweet spot.
We're back.
That's the sweet spot. Second highest demo number of the year. And it was just the competition was the usual NBA games that are always around this time of year. Mm-hmm. What do you have?
Let me scroll back.
I only have 3 things.
I have 4.
All right. So you go first.
The biggest news of the week: Goldberg is a free agent.
You can't even say that with a straight face.
And yeah,
let the bidding war ensue. Right?
Bidding war of 2023.
We were talking about that this week. If he ends up in AEW, I'm gonna be like disappointed, annoyed, angry, whatever. Like
that's dumb.
There's no universe where they need him.
Right? I don't even think they need Sting, but that's definitely not the worst thing they could do.
Right, because it's not going to move the needle enough that it's worthwhile, and he's going to take time away from anybody that could be doing something, right? So here's hoping
especially when like the women struggle to get like more than one match every week.
Right,
so.
He can just transition into obscurity as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, or go back to the main roster, and I still wouldn't care.
Yeah, there was some CM Punk social media, I want to say tweet. It could be Instagram. I don't know.
It was a deleted Instagram.
Right,
story.
and is now deleted. and that basically criticizing Moxley's Rocky 3 match idea. He said it sucked, and he also called Chris Jericho a liar and a stooge, and also accused AEW of asking him to wrestle without being medically cleared, which is the
that doesn't
similar
sound right.
song and dance to what he said in WWE, right? That was one of his things, is that the doctors that was his main issue, is with one of the doctors who just...
Wasn't it like Chris something?
Yeah, I can't remember his name. And then he called Meltzer as well as Jericho a liar. So just more CM Punk Venom, right? I don't really know what's going on, but and then also rumors of like, is he coming back to AEW? Like, he wants to come back, but
No, he doesn't.
I don't know. So anyways, there's our ears.
I saw you like caught the wrestling bug again because you like read something or whatever. Like,
right.
Okay.
And so the idea was, and he did lose really quickly to Moxley, right? Like, that was the match that was a few minutes.
Yeah, remember I was like to the moon.
And then the storyline would be train, come back and avenge that loss, right? Which I guess Punk was not interested in. But anyways, who cares?
He still got squashed, so it's still funny to me.
And then he didn't get the part where he gets to his revenge, so it's perfect.
What do you mean?
Because in theory, he's supposed to come back and beat Moxley later, but we don't have to watch that.
He did beat Moxley.
Oh, right. Sorry. He did see that. We did get that.
Yeah.
Anyways.
That's the last thing we got.
He didn't like the plan. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The best news of the week for me, and that made me happy, is Pete Dunne. Like, the bruiserweight seems to... It's coming.
That's what you say.
He's teasing a return to bruiserweight form. He posted, like, a black and gray pic of him with the UK title with the caption, "Remember, ... probably." And then also remember I showed you the logo that someone made that he posted on his story that was still bitter, probably.
That's cool.
And this is coupled with reports that Triple H wants to revert him back. So that's indicating that it is coming. And so what I've heard is from the same sources is that Triple H wanted to do this like for a while, but the Brutes got over. So
a little surprisingly, probably.
Yeah, right. So they pushed that back, which if I was them, I would have done that, but I also might have turned Butch then, because then he's mega heel.
It'd be so great if he's Pete Dunne.
Exactly.
And they use him correctly. There's that too.
The idea is, I think, Pete Dunne by the end of 2023.
Nice.
I personally I would say he should screw Sheamus at Mania, because I think Gunther is better off having a record-setting reign than main eventing right now. That is what I want to see. I want to see him hold the title longer than Honky. I don't want to see him in the main event right now. I want to see him do that.
And
that's
just
more interesting to me.
Get that title back to the status it should be,
which I think he's done already, but I want him to do that more.
He's
I think
moved it a long way, at least.
And especially with Cody Rhodes, and maybe like Seth Rollins gets one of the titles, like Gunther keeping the Intercontinental title is infinitely more interesting to me. So I think I'm not fully confident it would happen, but like at the very least, I want Gunther to win next week. And then if you could put a Pete Dunne turn into that would be really cool.
And then use him correctly.
Exactly. Of course.
I awesome.
Think like, I don't know. Eventually, I would like, if he's not Butch, if he's Pete Dunne, I would totally be okay with him being Gunther, because I think it would be funny. Because Gunther
could be the guy.
Gunther ended his reign,
right?
And then Pete Dunne could do the same. And then
the match
I feel
would
like
be awesome.
Also, if Gunther has a long title run, that gives Pete Dunne to maybe transition to kind of face. Because I feel like if he changes to Pete Dunne, A, he's got to be heel for a bit. B, he can't be in the Brawling Brutes, because Brawling Brutes is just not who Pete Dunne is.
Nope.
So I don't know. That has to happen eventually, and I've been saying that for a while, but now it seems actually like it will be on the cards at some point.
Yep, that'd be awesome. I would also appreciate that, because Pete Dunne, I think I was saying he was my favorite wrestler in the world for a while. I have a shirt, right?
Yeah, and 2021 NXT Pete Dunne
loved him.
Peak.
And he proved he could do promos too, because that was the one question, right? Like, can he talk? He can.
And he was ripped.
I thought he was awesome. Oh yeah, he got in great shape.
Yeah.
News item that's sort of good news for us is that AEW announced a deal with Toronto. The agencies don't matter, but it's Feldman Agency and Turbo Entertainment. So they have venues across North America, but basically they, quote, are the perfect partner to enhance our efforts in the Canadian market. So my understanding is house show tours, which is fine. House shows are fun.
I would do that.
They're affordable. They're fun. They're usually in a smaller venue.
And if it's AEW, I'd like it.
Right. So I think they're planning on sort of touring Canada a bit more, so that's cool for us.
And
at least
that means more Dynamite and stuff here, that's awesome, because I think also like the more shows we get here, maybe it's less like frantic.
Yes.
So Forbidden Door is going to be the second televised one we've had, so I think right now, like I feel like still it'll be like kind of insane, because AEW is just that's how it is.
And
but
for hardcore wrestling fans, you don't get access to New Japan at all. So that's the key.
The other draw.
That's the big draw for me. Yeah.
And like, so I feel like it'll probably be minimal and it probably won't even matter. But like, the more shows we get here, the less it'll be like. So maybe harder to get to.
Maybe next time Dynamite comes, it's not like this is our only chance. Everybody buy tickets. Right. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I still feel like a lot of people would, but like at least it's like you have more chances. Hopefully, so that's cool. More Mania card additions we got. So on Raw, they confirmed the tag title match. I was saying that I'm super pumped for. Me too. That's I don't know. That's just genuinely really interesting to me. I hate because I think in like one of the movie inspired trailers they did, John Cena was saying Ripley's main eventing. So I think
that's too bad.
The first main event.
That tag match should main event.
I understand it, but I'm not the only one who said this. I've seen like other posts about it on Instagram. Like, I understand like why they want to. Like, I do like that they want to have the women main event one night, and I think that's perfectly respectable.
We're always big on pushing the women, highlighting, spotlighting women.
Like when they did with Belair and Banks, that totally made sense. But I think like. If you're able to put Austin in the main event last year when he's like however old above the women, you could put the hype as hell tag team match main eventing the first night instead of the women. Like and they put Austin in the main event last year.
The Bloodline storyline is literally one of the biggest storylines in the history of their company.
Right. I don't know how it can't be that. It'll be like Rock and Hogan or Shawn and Taker where like it should have been the main event.
I think
and it's so clearly going to outshine the actual main event.
Like, and it's not only like the storyline, they're all really talented wrestlers. So it should be a really good in-ring performance.
It's the perfect storm. And like,
but yeah.
Especially last year, like they put Austin in the main event above the women when I think Blair and Lynch deserved to main event way 100%. More than Ripley and Charlotte do.
Yes, I agree.
So I think all the signs would point to the tag title match as a clear choice, but I don't know. I got my doubts they're not going to do that.
Too much logic.
There's still time to change it. I mean, Trips can make the right move. I don't know. And then they also confirmed last night on SmackDown Mysterio versus Mysterio.
That one I don't care a ton about.
I don't care a ton about that, but I mean, at least it's finally like confirmed now. That they've at least been building that for a solid while. I just don't care about Dominic.
And now that I've seen Vikingo again, I don't need Rey Mysterio anymore. I've got my replacement. The only other thing I have, which is sort of affects us as well, is that Josh Alexander is out of action indefinitely. So his record-setting title run
out with a whimper
is over. And he is relinquishing the championship, obviously, and he basically tore his triceps. So that has led to the main event of the show, I assume the main event, that we're going to in April instead of Macklin, Josh Alexander, they quickly replaced with Kushida, right? Which, again, cool match. I would prefer seeing Alexander, but
I feel like they could have picked someone better than Kushida because it's like, it's not much of a diss against Kushida because honestly I've come a long way on him since when he started in NXT, but he's not actually one of their guys, and also like he hasn't done like a lot of top card stuff, so to me it does feel a little odd.
It feels like they're telegraphing a Macklin win, which I'm fine with. I've been saying he's a guy
maybe that would have been the plan anyways.
I think it was.
I guess.
I think it's time.
But still, I would have liked an opponent that would have, I don't know, at least begged the question, or
But it gives Alexander a built-in story. Like, I don't know how long he's gone, but it gives him the built-in, like, I never lost the belt, especially if Macklin's still holding it, right? Like, that could be something they can use. I just don't know how long you're out with a triceps tear. It sounds awful, but hopefully he has a speedy recovery, because if memory serves, I watched Impact this week. I'll talk about it later. The show ended like normal. Like, it was a Macklin and Josh Alexander was in the ring, like, talking and whatever. So it sounded like there was no changes at that point.
Maybe did some indie show? Like, I don't know. Was this the week that it was live?
I think so. I'm not even sure.
Because it could have been taped, and then he did some indie show.
If it was taped, that would make sense.
I feel like if you're not noticing it, I feel like it has to be some indie things. I know he does.
He does do other stuff.
So I feel like it has to be something.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm out of news. You?
The only one I have was the Cena in theory has been confirmed for the opener.
Yeah, that should be okay.
So I think that's a good choice because Theory's a good talent. People love Cena. Like.
Yep.
I think that's good. I think that I'm like decently looking forward to that one, but like.
Yeah.
It's not over exciting.
I agree. Like Mania, again, there's nothing I'm super hyped for, but there's also not stuff that I'm like, ugh.
Cena's a good Mania attraction because he is a celebrity, but he's also one of their guys, and then he's also a well-known star, like he was like a top star before, but also not too old, like Goldberg or something. Like I think he's in the sweet spot right now, where like he's still good enough to be worthwhile.
He's probably not
got,
working
like,
a half-hour
appeal,
match,
right?
But,
like I think he's in a sweet spot right now for like appeal and also like the nostalgia.
Yeah,
because he's not too old and he's not an outright celebrity like Bad Bunny or Pat McAfee. Like he's experienced. Right?
And
so
having him open will be good because the crowd will respond, right? And start things off with some energy.
That makes sense, yeah. That's
nice.
a good pick.
All right, well, let's transition into our most detailed review every week, and that's taking a look at this past Wednesday's episode of AEW Dynamite. Tell me about Dynamite, my son. Started out feeling a little WCW to me. Not that that's the end of the world, but I'm not even saying that as a negative.
It started with the
Just
Bucks
felt like it.
being taken away in ambulances after an attack we haven't seen. So Matt got taken away in the first one. Hangman was on the phone, and then he got in the second ambulance going away with Nick. And then Kenny stayed behind because he's got a match later.
So kind of a clever way, because the last image of last week, right, was the Elite standing behind Hangman, and then it sort of transitions right into this. So again, further tease of we haven't seen them even talk or work out any problems or anything, but they are sort of orbiting each other a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, it didn't take up much time, and it furthered a story I'm kind of interested in.
Yeah, it continues the thread, right? So it was an interesting little bit.
Yep.
And Hangman's still involved with them, so that's interesting.
Right.
Then we get to our hot opener, which is Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, and okay, here's how I wrote it, and I don't know why. Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, and Orange Cassidy.
Because you subconsciously want to eliminate the other person.
Or I want two Orange Cassidys, I guess.
Instead of Sting.
And we're gonna fix that real quick.
And they're taking on Butcher Blade and your other boy, Kip Sabian.
Yeah.
With some purple hair, was it you said? I can't tell. Blue
weird.
Or purple.
It was kind of weird. So Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, Sting versus Kip Sabian, and then Butcher and Blade. So Sting sells some shots from Butcher and hits him of his own, so we're loving this already.
Yep.
Sabian goes for a top rope move on Sting, who slowly rolls across the ring. Rinse, repeat once more, but then he tagged in Darby Allin because he's challenging Orange Cassidy.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Who is the freshly leveled up champion.
Leveled up.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
A couple strikes in the code red from Darby for 2. Cassidy gets a hot tag flurry, and he hits a tilt-a-whirl DDT to Sabian. A powerbomb neckbreaker from Butcher and Blade to Cassidy. Sabian covers him for 2. Sting tags in, unbeknownst to Sabian. He does the lazy kick thing, challenging Orange Cassidy again. And then hits a real close on him, and then he hits Blade with the clothesline. Weak shot to Butcher.
So weak.
Then Sabian gets caught in Scorpion Deathlock while he no-sells from Butcher and Blade until they double-team him. Cassie hits Sabian with the Stun Dog Millionaire, or Stud Nog, because I misspelled.
Nice.
The Stud Nog Millionaire.
Stud Nog.
Yeah.
I like it.
I kind of do for some reason. Then he hits a suicide dive to Blade. Darby hits Sabian with the pop-over stunner, and then a suicide dive to Butcher, and then Sting gets Sabian ready for the Scorpion Death Drop, waits about a minute, then hits it for the win.
I do have that in my notes as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, my only note other than my thoughts are Jack is angered by the finish. And then
That was dumb.
So I had trouble getting into this match. There was a flurry in there actually near the end with Darby Allin that I thought was really good. The rest I thought was nothing special, right? Part of it is Butcher, Blade, and Sabian. They don't do anything. I don't mind any of them, but they're just kind of thrown into this with no real story, and they're not winning. And
I'm pretty sure it's just Sting's birthday, but that doesn't really...
And I get they're using Sting because he gets a reaction from live crowds, and I'm not saying he doesn't, but I don't have any desire to see him. I know you don't either. And I'm usually the one who's a little bit more optimistic or whatever, but I thought his performance here was not great and did nothing to change my opinion, right? He's the anti-Darby in terms of Darby makes everybody look good, while Sting makes every other opponent look kind of weak or stupid. And the example is like you pointed out, like how long Sabian had to stand there and wait for the death drop, right? He's in the reverse headlock or whatever.
And I know Sabian's
waiting.
not some megastar.
No,
I like him a bit, but like...
Yeah.
Anyone would look stupid doing this. I'd be mad if it was anyone, let alone Sabian.
So, like, I just couldn't get into this, and as, like, an opening trios match, technically, this is not
This is them using Sting wrong.
This is not anything close to the best they have to offer. So, sort of not super impressed with the start of this.
No, and, like, I don't know, I really hate them having Sting still, but, like, to be fair, and you said, like, they use him better sometimes, and this is the opposite of that. I feel like this is using him, like, not... It makes everyone look bad, pretty much.
And he's just no-selling people stuff, which doesn't help them. And I know it's not like you're about to push Butcher and Blade or whatever, but do you really have to have them... Their strikes have no effect on a 60-whatever-year-old man.
And if Sting hits a weak shot there...
they have to sell it, right? Yeah,
it wasn't great.
There were some problems here.
It was kind of what I expected, and yet it was still worse than what I expected. And, like, it might have been because I haven't been subjected to Sting in a while, but, like, it seemed like the worst parts about him were on full display here.
Yeah.
He didn't do a lot in the way of action, of course, and his strikes were pretty weak sometimes. And he no-sold them so much. It's not even that he did it.
He did it several times.
He did it so many times. And, like, if I've said it once, and I've said it a million times, he should be the absolute last person on the roster who should be no-selling anything. He's, like, the oldest guy there. Everything should hurt him. Even if, like, you don't get all of it, that should be killing Sting. He should be dead. Like, if they're powerballing him or something, like, he shouldn't be the last person no-selling because he's, like, the weakest guy on the roster.
Yeah.
And not to mention, like, his Scorpion Deathlock is horrible. And, like, again, the death drop, it took, like, half a minute at least. Like, Sabian looks like a freaking idiot. Like, and he also had to, like, do that weird thing where, like, you know, like, where he takes his stunner, but then he's stunned and but he's still on his feet.
Right.
And he did that twice, and then he waited, like, a minute for a Scorpion death drop. So
he did.
It was just stupid. Like, but I would be mad if that was anyone because it just makes them all look dumb. So this is not a good opener, not what I want, and I still don't want Sting here.
Agree.
Then we get a quick promo package from the Four Pillars. There's kind of recapping last week, and then we also see MJ talking about it, saying they have to earn a shot, and they have to earn the spot. And then all of them got to speak to. It was solid. I didn't really catch much of it, but there were sound issues at the beginning because it was like cut off at the beginning. But the rest of it was good. I like what everyone had to say. I think Darby was pretty good again, and then. Solid building after last week.
Yeah, I quite liked it. They quickly built this into an angle that I'm pretty interested in and enjoying, right? So I thought it was a nice mix of last week's footage and then giving them all a chance to speak again this time. I thought all four sounded really good, and it's kind of elevating all of them at the same time.
Kind of elevates the title, too. They're all kind of
cool.
after it, and they all have, like, legitimate gripes to get it. Like, I think that's good for the title as well.
Interesting to me is this is 2 weeks in a row where Sammy Guevara has sounded really good doing basically what I would suggest are babyface promos, right? So I'm kind of interested to see.
Which is weird because he was a solid face before, but then it kind of petered out, and then now he's in Jazz. And
then
like...
the stuff with Ty Conti mean he had to be a heel, and then he went into Jazz. So I'm hoping maybe he can get liberated from Jazz and do something different. Cause
yeah, he's probably the one I'd want out of there. Cause
I thought he
besides
sounded,
Garcia, actually, because I want Garcia and Blackpool still.
I thought Sammy sounded really good both weeks. So I like this. Again, push this story forward, and I'm already interested in it.
Yeah, I really want to see this match. Next we get a quick package for Omega and Vikingo.
Sorry, my notes say Omega hype package. Is that not correct?
Oh, did you did that too?
He's not wrestling a clone of himself?
He probably could. But so it's just like Excalibur doing talking heads over like about Omega when he was the belt collector in his kind of 2021 and how that had him do to defend the AAA Mega title against Vikingo until his injuries took him out, and Vikingo won the vacant title. Now the dream match is happening tonight.
I like that they chose Excalibur to do it because he's like the expert on everything, right? And I also like because sometimes they've just thrown people out there, right, without giving us sort of background information. So
like Commander.
They really did a good job here of quickly. It was very quick, but like, here's Vikingo, here's why he's a big deal, or Vikingo, as Excalibur keeps saying. Here's why he's a big deal. Here's why this is basically a dream match. So I was already pumped to see it.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Cause it was a really little build, but it's really all the build you need. Because it's like, this was a great match that was supposed to happen.
Yep.
It wasn't able to happen. Now it's happening.
And they're two top guys in two big promotions. So here we go.
And I think it also has the benefit, like, it reminds us of how amazing Omega was on his own.
That's
because it's ever since it came back, it's been the trio stuff, which has been amazing. But like it's been a while since we've seen him on his own.
You're right. It's a subtle.
And this was him at his peak.
It's a reminder because the word is that Kenny's moving back into singles action, right? It's kind of a nice way of reminding us, like, this guy's an absolute beast as a singles wrestler in the recent past, right? Here's all of his
also reminded us he's never lost a singles match on Dynamite, which is interesting.
Right. So yeah, I like this package as well.
I was reminded his last match was against Alan Angels.
Right. The one that I thought went too long.
No, that was the first time they faced off. That would have been like 2020. Remember when they were in like the little warehouse looking place in like Georgia or something?
Yep.
I think it was like Atlanta or something like that. Which is in Georgia. I know that, but I'm just specifying.
Right.
And then I think that one was like kind of like the rematch because that was in the whole like Hangman saga where he was with Philly with Dark Horse. So that was kind of like within the Dark Horse stuff, and then also kind of a callback to the first match that you thought took too long. So it's
even though it was good.
No, but yeah, that was before
Angels should be having a competitive
that
match.
was before he was anything. He was still on the Angels then.
Well, then now he's a huge deal as part of the design.
Just Angels.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of name changes, I just was thinking, like, 'cause I saw, like, Raquel Rodriguez or something, and I saw her card in Supercard because it was, like, an old picture of her, like, probably when she was, like, because she used to be Reina Gonzalez.
Yes.
I thought it was funny because then she changed her first name when she came with Dakota Kai, so she was Raquel Gonzalez, and now she's lost both of her original names.
That's right.
So, funny.
Nice. Keep moving. I got to get out of here.
Next we get Top Flight versus the Guns for the AEW tag titles, which just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I guess they deserve a title shot because why not?
I mean, I think they're a good ideal challenger for the Guns, but this was like pretty short. So it wasn't what it could have been.
It was more angle stuff, really.
Yeah. There's a Darius hot tag flurry at one point after a commercial break.
I thought that looked good. That was it ended with a Spanish fly, I think.
Yeah.
It was a good little flurry
standing Spanish fly from Darius to Colton for 2. Dante hit the nosedive to Austin for 2, with Colton breaking the pin. OGK attacked Darius when the ref wasn't looking. They didn't hit him any of their cool moves, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Then the Guns hit Dante with the 310 to Yuma for the win, which is like a flapjack flatliner stolen from Yo and Rush.
It looks cool. I don't mind it.
Yeah, it's alright. And I guess it's kind of similar to a Smash contraption.
Yeah. It's got a lift and then a kind of a basic thing, but
or
it
a
looks
3D
cool.
or a 1D or anything of the sort.
Yep.
Then after FTR come out, Colton says nobody wants to see them, and Cash says they're not here to fight. They're here to talk business. Colton says they don't like them, and they don't want to see them. They're losers. They lost 3 titles and lost to the Guns, and there's nothing they can say to get a shot. So then Cash tries offering that you'll never get a shot again. Classic if they lose. Austin says no, there's nothing. Cash offers for them to never team again if they lose. Austin says, again, there's nothing they can offer. Then Dax offers for them to lose or to leave AEW if they lose.
That's the one.
And Austin says deal. Then the Guns spit in their faces and leave the ring.
Yeah, the match wasn't much. I thought Top Flight looked good. The Guns didn't really do much of anything in this. And the result was what we expected. And then I assume I'm being sarcastic here when I write, and we got to see OGK because I don't care for them, obviously. But I knew this match stipulation was coming. I don't know why. I don't know where I heard it from, but I knew this was basically the way they're going because it plays into the whole Dax, like, free agent, might teasing leaving, going back to WWE, which he's not. I'm fairly confident.
I think
that this
now
means
it's like,
FTR wins the titles and we can get this division back on track to where it should be, right? So I thought the interaction after was good. It was like sports entertainment stuff, right? But well done. I don't mean that as an insult all the time. Sometimes I do. But yeah, I thought this was effective. The match was just there to get to the angle afterwards. So it was all fine. It didn't take up too much time, at least.
Yeah, it was okay. It was really short for a time match. I didn't really gather much from it. I mean, I know the Guns aren't amazing, but I was kind of expecting more. I don't know.
Just the finish is very like cheesy.
Just because it's Top Flight, you know. I figured we would get more.
Yeah.
Just with the commercial breaks too, it really didn't feel like much to sink your teeth into. And I knew the Guns would win. The OGK attacking Top Flight probably stems from one of the Battle Royal matches, but I don't remember, so it still feels random. Post-match wasn't long, gets us going where we need to be. Stipulation works fine for me. It just makes it more obvious what the result is.
I think so.
But it doesn't really matter to me because I figured it would be that anyways.
Yes, I thought so too.
Next we get Hooray, another Jade Cargill promo.
Which is completely different and new, right?
Yes.
right? It's definitely
it's
not
fresh.
the same thing.
It is not, and
Okay, good.
I hate that sentiment. I don't know why you would ever say that.
Right?
I would never say such a
Her
thing.
promos and segments are so varied, and she just has this
The
broad
range,
range. She
the
has
range.
is unbelievable.
Okay, it's insane. She should be in movies.
She should. Well, she probably could be in superhero movies just based off the way she looks.
She says Taya came in and interrupted her moment to interrupt an open challenge that was closed, and she used Jade's finisher. It seems to me a lot of open challenges are closed in AEW. I don't think they seem to understand what an open challenge is. Allow me to demonstrate. I think they had like a TV title open challenge on ROH when Joe was defending against Deppen.
Yeah.
Not an open challenge. Deppen was already confirmed. Hobbs defended an open challenge against Phoenix, even though Phoenix, I guess, like, they already... I mean, he put out an open challenge and Phoenix accepted it, so I guess to be fair, that's an open challenge.
Mhm.
But, like... Okay, so the Phoenix one maybe is a little understandable, and then the Jade Cargill one is, but then he's defending against Penta tonight
Right.
in an open challenge match, which, like, no.
Well, I guess they're saying the open challenge was accepted early, though. Doesn't have to be accepted.
They still
the
call it an
moment
open challenge match.
They
right
do.
now. They don't seem to get it sometimes.
They do.
Sterling holds up a cease and desist for Taya to stop using Jaded because it's Jade's move.
Even though Taya's been using it for...
Even though Beth Phoenix is using
considerably
it first.
longer.
Yeah.
Because it's the road to Valhalla, or is that what it...
I think so, yeah.
That Taya calls it. So I think that was kind of
funny.
funny.
What did she call it as Frankie Monet? I feel like...
I don't remember.
Oh, that's
Did
such
she
a
ever
bad
win
name.
as Frankie Monet?
Yeah, squash matches, remember?
Yeah, I guess.
And they were just like weren't very good or something.
Yeah, she did not look good during that era. I don't know if she just wasn't into it
Which
or
is
what.
Weird because NXT was really good then. So
it was.
That's just kind of like a blip on the. Was she affiliated? She was affiliated with like Robert Stone or something, right? Because she had like something going. I think
she was.
What it was okay. It was some weird affiliation because she wasn't managed by Robert Stone. Because I know like Aaliyah and like Martinez,
but
like, they were
in their circle somehow.
Yeah, I forget what it was. I don't remember it being great. I'm just like remembering what happened. I really want to like. I know we already reviewed it a long time ago, but I would love to like go back to that era. Like I'd say like pandemic NXT onward to like to before 2.0. I think that would be interesting to look back on again because there's some really good stuff in there.
There was.
It feels a lot longer than it was. Just like
I'm
trying to remember. I don't know.
It was not a big era. No.
I want to like go. I want to watch NXT again. Honestly, I kind of want to review it again too because like I don't know.
Let's do it.
We caught old NXT on. It was Cole and Ono.
New NXT is nowhere near as bad as 2.0. There's some good stuff every week generally. This week I quite liked actually.
Still, I don't want it. I think like
just second screen it. Come watching while I'm watching it on your phone.
2 hour NXT was perfect when it was black and gold, but it was 2 hours because I think 1 hour was like it was good. Don't get me wrong, but I like the 2 hour. I think that's the sweet spot.
You should just come back to it, second screen it if you want, and don't take any notes. And at least then you've seen it.
I want to watch good NXT.
I know. But anyways, carry on.
Layla Gray says she'll personally deliver to Taya on Rampage, so I gotta watch tonight. And Renee asks if that's a challenge, and she says yes.
Yeah, I don't know. The cease and desist thing makes sense, and again, it's kind of funny because of the move being quote unquote stolen, but it doesn't. Again, doesn't feel any different than anything else. She's just spinning her wheels.
Well, and you know how many people could do that? Like Edge or Goldberg could go after Roman and Braun Breaker for using a spear. Kali could go after Omos for using the Punjabi plunge.
People.
Bray could go after Jay White for using the Blade Runner. Like,
yep.
Doesn't make sense. But I'm definitely watching Rampage because Layla Gray.
And at some point, I need a signature promo or match from Jade. I need something. Evidence that she is getting better, right? I'm not saying she's bad, but she's the same all the time. So I need something to change because this is just... They're starting to lose me when she's on TV, right? And she has a lot of potential, but it's just...
Right, it's been so much of the same whole time.
Yep.
Like, I don't
get it.
Yeah, I can't really do much of this anymore. Like, it was fine, but like you said, it felt like any other Jade promo more or less, and like it really doesn't do much for me. Cease and desist is funny because that's Sterling's thing. But like I said, you know how many things that could apply. Like,
yeah,
so many wrestlers could pull that if they wanted to. Like, I don't know.
But that's heel logic, right? So it doesn't build her. It doesn't build anybody else. Like, she's just holding a belt and. That's it, basically, for me. I don't know.
I'm just adding something. Then we have Hook versus Stokely Hathaway in a no DQ match.
Correct.
Which is interesting.
I guess.
Hathaway cuts a promo claiming the doctor says he wasn't clear and now he's retiring. He gave Justin Roberts a receipt that he just wrote "he's sick" in all caps on, and then the ref starts the match because it's obviously not real.
Yeah, I don't love Stokely as a comedy character. That's not how I would use him. And the doctors know, like, because they're like, this is written on a receipt. Like, he's an idiot, I guess.
Or he
thought it was funny.
He thinks the ref is an idiot.
Or it was a joke and he knew he was going to go through with the match. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to make him not an idiot out of this, but
right, because Hathaway's supposed to not be an idiot, right?
And he's great when he's like the smart, sort of strong, tough talking manager. I don't know why they feel the need to put him as a comedy character, but I didn't love that. But this whole thing is basically him being comedy. So sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Match starts and Hathaway hightails into the crowd until Hook catches up with him, tosses him back over the barricade to ringside. Hathaway tries to kick Hook and he gets suplexed on the outside, like the shoulder capture, leg capture, whatever.
That looked good. Good for him for taking that.
There we go. Hook took out a barrier from under the ring, which I don't know, that feels weird. Usually they get them from the side, but anyways, there's like one of the steel barricades under the ring. He sits up in the corner of the ring. Hathaway sprays him with a fire extinguisher after he rolled out of the ring. Hathaway tries to hit Hook with a chair, but he blocks it. It looked really like the chair looked weird. It looked like it had like a flat paint finish or something.
Yeah,
like the black looked flat. I don't know. Hook beats him with the chair, then T-bone suplexes him onto the barrier, pins him but lifts him up for at 2. He's not done, and then he submits him with red rum.
Yeah, I don't know. It was entertaining enough for a quick like extended squash, basically, right? Like Hook does cool stuff. He suplexes and throws people, so it was fine. But what was the aftermath? Because I think I have a note on that.
I don't remember anything.
For some reason, I wrote, I don't love that Ethan Page seems to be next to lose to Hook.
Oh, yeah, they're just kind of setting that up.
Right, so that's the only problem is because we love Ethan Page in this house.
God, he kind of fell from grace because he was getting a solid little push.
Tiny little bit for like a month, maybe at most.
But I missed that. That was a solid, like, that was an understandable push. Like, that was an appropriate push for him.
So for what this was, I thought it was, I was entertained, right? It was
fine. It was solid for what it was. It was what I would have expected. It was never going to be a serious match, so it was fine for that. Hathaway, to his credit, took some solid bumps in there, and Hook got a win, so I guess it was solid.
Yeah, they just have to keep finding ways right now for Hook to get quick wins, right? It seems, and that's...
Yeah, he's not...
He's doing a little bit more, little different things than Jade, but he's also been pretty
progressing at
standard stuff.
He's progressing at a similar speed after the phenomenal start that people... raved about.
I was all on board for Hook too at the beginning,
and now it's just like
it's kind of like okay.
People are still hot for him. I don't know. I definitely care less because I kind of got it. I didn't get it at first, but then you can kind of understand, and then now it's just like
he's another one that's kind of spinning his wheels at this
little
point.
bit. Yeah. So next we hear from my boy Adam Cole. He said in 7 days he makes his in-ring return to AEW. And he spoke about how he feels freaking great. Seth freaking Rollins. He's never been more ready, and he's prepared to get back in the ring to wrestle. He knows people are wondering about who his opponent will be next week, and here comes Daniel Garcia.
Yeah.
Woo.
Again, love to see him not as part of Jazz, so I was all for this.
But this felt like Jazz Garcia.
Yeah.
Just the way he talks.
Yeah.
Garcia says it's time for story time with him. He said he's a veteran and he's a respected locker room leader now. And he said it's his duty to welcome back Cole and put him in his place. And he trashed him for being at home for 9 months playing video games. Garcia bragged about about Brody King, Ricky Starks, and Bryan Danielson. I don't think he beat all of them, but he's faced them. He did beat Brody King though.
Mm-hmm.
It was some bull knockout finish, like with the bat, and then it was like that's what I heard, which is kind of stupid, but. And they say he's main invented more AEW programming than anybody else on the roster, which
doesn't sound right, but
I'd hope it's not right.
Didn't fact check him.
I kind of hope it's not right. And he accidentally said he's the best pro wrestler on the planet. Then he went back and said sports entertainer. I wonder what made Cole special. And then NXT callback, he said he's special when they ring the damn bell.
Mm-hmm.
Which I remember from the promo against Cross.
Right.
Where he just eviscerated him.
He did.
That was awesome. Cole said that someday Garcia will lead the charge in AEW. He trashed Jazz, and he said he's a multi-time world champion, while saying he's fought and beaten some of the best. He said he has his second chance to wrestle again, and it's not just his return match, but a statement to the locker room that one of the best pro wrestlers is back. And he says it will be a great night for him and the fans, and not for Garcia.
And in the moment, we missed his final line because I don't know if it was everywhere, but remember the screen went just green, or I think it was green, and we lost all audio.
I don't
right
remember.
At the very end of it. But anyways.
Oh wait, yeah, something got cut off, right?
Yeah. His,
okay,
no,
I remember now.
His
okay,
last line, I think we missed.
Yeah.
I thought Garcia sounded really good here, actually. And I thought his heel logic was kind of solid, right? Like, you've been gone, and I did this, this, and this, and main evented. And I did like where he stopped short of calling himself a pro wrestler and quickly corrected it to sports entertainer. Cole sounded good. He's always going to. But again, I've said it a bunch now. The concussion is too big of a piece of his identity right now. I need him to get past that.
Yeah.
And get back to wrestling, I guess, will probably help. Not that it wasn't a major thing and traumatic for him, but like it's become too much of what he is at this point. So I need him to get away from it.
I just need him to turn heel because then he'll be fine again.
But these two should have a really good match. So
yeah.
There is that.
That's the thing. Like I don't want it just to be the concussion thing. Like if he could be a solid babyface, but they need to find that, or they need to turn him heel. Because that's better, but
yeah, he can do it all, but he is a stronger heel for sure.
Yeah, solid promo though, similar to before, but it's been a little bit, so I guess it's fine. Good to see him again. Didn't love Garcia here. Is back to kind of the promo I don't love from him, just because just some of his mannerisms, like it's just bothersome. I'm looking forward to seeing Cole in action next week, but I can't help but feel this is an underwhelming choice. I know you don't have to have like some big, huge opponent for this, but like Garcia just doesn't. It doesn't feel it for me.
I just think it's like a quality quote unquote win for Cole to get started.
Yeah,
I guess.
It doesn't move the needle much for me.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Next we got an interview with Omega and Callis.
As Marvez just barges into their change room, basically, right? I think. Yeah.
Omega's worried about the Bucks, and Callis keeps telling him not to worry about it. He says it's the best thing for them now because Omega's focused. Callis turns to the camera and says Omega versus Vikingo will blow the roof off, and the God of Pro Wrestling is back.
Yeah, and you could see a little bit of tension here, right? Because Omega doesn't appreciate Callis being like, it's great that your buddies got hurt and sent away in a hospital.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best.
He's trying to like get like the 2021 Omega back.
Yeah, so you can see that they're teasing some tension, and I think that comes back in the main event as well. But I'm wondering if it's tied to, because remember, Callis was recruiting Takeshita heavily for a while, so I don't know where they're going.
No, that was another rumor for a while. I know he has a bit, but I think it was on Rampage.
Takeshita needs a mouthpiece, so I'm wondering where this will go. But yeah, this was fine, I guess. I don't know. There wasn't much there.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was okay. It was pretty quick, but I kind of like Callis trying to manipulate him again. And we'll see more of that kind of later, which was
yes. Callis is a giant weasel. I like it.
I like that they're still doing that, even though the elite are kind of face, like, because Callis isn't gonna just be like, because I feel like when they came back after like Omega's injury, and then also like the Full Gear thing, when they came back after their absence, like I feel like it was just like everyone tagged on, like they had Cutler, Knack, and Callis just because like that's what they had before. Yeah, I feel like the time is coming for them to split with Callis.
Yeah,
because I feel like it can keep.
It could be
Cutler and Knack are kind of comedy, so like they'll work in the face role too. You know.
Yeah.
And so I think it's definitely to start the elite separating from Callis, which I think it makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, does Takeshita have to be heel then?
I don't know. You could do a thing where he's babyface and the manager is heel.
But I feel like that's always doomed to fail then.
Could be. It might not even happen. I don't know. It may be a breadcrumb that they never go back to, right? Possibly.
I don't know. Next we get Jon Moxley versus Stu Grayson.
Our boy. FNS favorite, Stu Grayson.
We get a Hurricane Rana from Grayson. Later, Moxley shoulder tackled him off the apron, knocking him right into the barricade, which was kind of cool. Uranagi from Grayson, followed by a springboard corkscrew senton, I think. Kind of like a Whisper in the Wind kind of deal. Looked for two. Great. Moxley locked in a sleeper, and Grayson stayed on his feet. He broke the hold by cannonballing Moxley into the corner. So that's kind of cool. He avoided a paradigm shift to a Pele kick. Then the finish came with like an avalanche paradigm shift, which was more like a butterfly suplex. Just
it was not on his head.
It was like that one time he faced it was Suzuki, I think he did it, and it was like basically an underhook suplex, except that was an avalanche, so that was weirder. But Moxley picks up the win here. And I think they were going to attack him, but they got chased off or something, right? Or maybe not. I don't know.
I don't think so.
That
So
was
usually I
later.
make note of like another standard.
I don't think so. I think I was thinking later because I didn't make note of it either. But I was just like, did I miss something?
So this for me was the first time I think that because commentary talked about Grayson's like legitimate fighting credentials, right? Like he was a kickboxer or something.
Something,
saying, and a black belt and whatever. So that was cool. But I thought this was a pretty good TV match, and Grayson got a lot and looked really good, which is nice because he is kind of the returning guy, and Moxley can afford to give people lots if he wants to. The crowd got into this and got behind Stu Grayson, so I agree. The finish looked more like a superplex and a Death Rider, but I enjoyed the match overall. And can't believe this. I don't know if this is an insult to Stu Grayson. Mox didn't even bleed. Crazy. But yeah, good TV match, I thought.
Wow. He didn't bleed last week either, I think.
Crazy.
And both
he's bled all the blood. He has none left in his body, possibly.
No, he's just like, it's like when Punk claimed Mox wouldn't lose to him. Mox won't bleed for Stu Grayson.
That's terrible.
Solid TV match. It was decently competitive, but nothing amazing. I was kind of expecting a little more here. Like, I knew Grayson would look, or like he would lose, but I was hoping he'd get a little more. But he looked solid still.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping he'd maybe wow us again, but like it was still good nonetheless having him back. I just think we need to get him and Uno cooking in the tag ranks.
Agree.
I think that would be really fun. Next we get a quick Starks interview. He was saying he came back from his vacation to say he didn't like Juice attacking him 2 weeks ago. Hot take. And he issued an open challenge to Juice to Rampage and say he doesn't give a damn anymore. That's not an open challenge.
No.
It's an open challenge to one person.
Right. I'm enjoying more serious Starks the last couple weeks because his usual shtick sometimes wears thin on me, so I like that he's a little more focused and serious. The angle kind of came out of nowhere and hasn't been explained super well, like other than what's his face saying I did it because I can, basically, right?
Yeah.
So
you just call him what's his face?
Yeah, because I forgot his name.
Juice Robinson.
Right, Juice Robinson. I was actually gonna go with his NXT name.
No, you weren't.
Which is I can't even remember that.
CJ Parker.
CJ Parker, that's right. So yeah, I'm fine with Starks being a little more subdued and serious for a change.
Yeah, I always thought it was pretty short, but what I wrote was this was fine, but it convinces me they don't get win open challenges.
They don't. A lot
for the most part. Next we get QTV.
Why? How? This is a Rampage segment. This is a dark segment.
No, I don't want it at all.
This isn't. Anyway,
I don't want it existing.
Describe it first of all.
I don't know how to describe it. I don't want it existing. It's so random too. Like just last week thing.
And again, it's a parody, I guess they would suggest, of TMZ's
Why is
show.
Hobbs here?
He wasn't actually there though.
But it doesn't make sense.
That was one of my highlights.
Well, I don't get how Hobbs is like affiliated with this at all.
I don't either.
So QT Marshall, Harley Cameron, I don't know who that is. Aaron Solo.
And RJ City's there.
And the other guy was Tony Schiavone's son that works for AEW. I didn't see RJ City.
I thought he was in.
Credit to TJR for this. I don't know these people, so this is TJR's. So, because I sure as hell not taking notes on QTV. Hobbs was not there. They made some bad jokes about Phoenix, Wardlow, and then another open challenge for Hobbs, TNT title. Then they announced later Penta, so that's cool. I do not like this.
No,
AEW,
it's awful.
Please stop this. No good. Also, if you happen to be listening, please get rid of Sting. Don't bring back Punk, and do not sign Goldberg. Thank you. And good night.
That's two of these segments, though. They're not funny. They're not entertaining. I find them obnoxious. And so
it's so ill-fitting, too.
Weird to believe that they're admitting to committing crimes in a segment.
It's like the MJF thing you said, but I think this is worse because they literally provided video proof of them doing
and
the
they
thing.
know this is being broadcast, and it's proof of them.
And they're just laughing it off.
Right. So
I think this is worse than the MJF thing.
The silver lining here is that Hobbs wasn't actually here, and I hope that he can distance himself from this. Because I don't know who thinks they need to use QT Marshall. Like, no offense to him, but like, who do you know, or who are you tight with? It was Cody, right? But he's gone, so I don't.
And he turned on Cody.
I don't know what they think this is gonna do, but I dread these segments each week at this point.
Yeah, me too. I feel like, and like, it's also worse than the MJF thing because MJF could say he was saying that to be a dick, and like, he has plausible deniability because there's no proof he did that. He could just be saying that to be the devil. But they are not only admitting to doing all these things to Wardlow, but they also provide video proof of them breaking into his car, and like, it's just so dumb, and like I don't get the point of these. Like,
I don't either.
I
don't feel like they're gonna turn into something I care about. This is just what they are.
Just something I don't want to see.
Correct.
Next we get, speaking of something I don't want to see.
I get to say it though. Go ahead.
Sky Blue versus Tony Storm.
This.
Sky Blue is your match.
This is your women's match this week. Who gets more TV time in matches than Sky Blue?
No, she just faced Soho too. Like.
So, anyways, this is your only
Sky
women's
Blue.
match this
week. What was
it
last week? I swear to God, last week was Sky Blue too. Like I don't. It was because the match with Soho was recent, so I swear she faced it recently. Like I'm trying to find it really quick because I'm curious. Like, cause I feel like she was. I don't think she was last week, but at the same time, I do. Okay, so 139, right? All right. So I'm scrolling real quick. I know she was recent. It was the one after Revolution, right? Because it would have been fresh off the heel turn, I think. So as I'm just kind of talking as this is loading because it's loading really slow. It's really inconvenient.
But I don't know how you build a division giving one match a week and making one of the competitors
Sky Blue
largely inconsequential. No offense, but
and she's not very good.
Yeah, she's okay.
I don't know. She lacks something. I don't know. She doesn't like have the much experience.
But two
either,
women a week. Get on your
Jade
major
Cargill's
show.
last week, so then it was Sky Blue the week before. Okay,
right.
But that was still that was some random jobber too. Anyways, okay, so we got it. So Sky Blue in 3 weeks or something, she's had 2 matches.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She's
also,
busy.
I guess if you want to go, there 2 matches to the Outcast, which is
you said their name.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not great.
Gross. There's a hip attack, knocking Blue off the apron from Storm, turning a DDT later for 2, a finish already because I don't care. Hip attack, German suplex, Storm 0 from Storm for the win. They went to spray paint Blue with green again. It's still funny.
Give it up.
That's still funny. And Riho and Willow Nightingale chase them off with a pipe.
Yep.
Therefore scary.
For what it was, I think a fine match, I guess, and the finishing sequence from Storm I thought was actually pretty cool. But at the end of the day, this is a featured star against enhancement talent, and that's fine if you get a variety of matches, right? But this is the only one on the division in this show, and it doesn't feel like enough every week.
No.
The women's matches on TV between 2 top talents seem really rare in this division, right? We get all kinds of men's matchups we're looking forward to because it's 2 top of the card
Vikingo.
or and then the women, it's just here's somebody that we feature versus someone we don't, and it's going to be really quick, and there's going to be a commercial break, and it's not going to matter going forward. So I don't know, and I just feel like we see Sky Blue a lot, and I don't think we need to at this point.
No, definitely not as much as we do because she's not very good. She's
she's their Cora Jade.
Yeah, is she better or worse?
I don't know. Jade's improved. She's injured with some unidentified or unreleased injury.
Did she get parking lotted or no?
I don't think she did. Wendy Chu did, and
it was Nikki Lyons was the first one.
And Wendy Chu got parking lotted. Okay. I don't think Jade did.
No, yeah, and I know Nikita was the first one.
Yep.
This was lame. Typical match. I don't enjoy the Outcast, if I'm being honest, which I know is surprising.
Right.
They're not good.
They're not.
Then Blackpool attacks Stu Grayson, and he was getting checked on. So,
and it's just that Blackpool are the despicable heels now, heel faction, and I'm okay with it.
I like it. They're just they're kind of they're just bullies because they love the violence. So I like that because their whole violence gimmick and whatever their shtick is, it lends itself pretty well to either face, heel, or in between.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that might give the faction staying power.
And it kind of feels a bit like LFI, where they just constantly just do whatever they want to do.
And Moxley himself
focus on cheating more than Blackpool does, but same idea. We're just gonna do stuff because we can, and you can't stop us.
I think the whole thing definitely really fits Moxley, and if Claudio and Yuta and Blackpool, I think if it works for them too. But I like it because they can just do whatever, and I think it would work well for me. I'll like him either way.
It'll be a tougher fit for Danielson if that's the way they want to go, I think.
But he can be a good heel too. He's proven. So
yep.
Even when he had that weird brief spell after the Hangman feud where he was heel, that was awesome. Actually, he just kept beating Dark Order.
Yeah.
And kicking their heads in and stuff. He was heel before Blackpool formed. So
right.
to be fair, he could do it too. I mean, I don't think it works currently.
Mm-hmm.
In general, of course he could, but currently it's given his recent path. Then we come to our main event, which is El Hijo de Vikingo versus Kenneth Omega.
Indeed.
For the not AAA title, because no title match.
And for a lot of people, this would be their first time seeing Vikingo, I think, and I imagine he impressed people with this.
He had a suicide dive before Omega got in the ring, somersault plancha over the top onto the floor. He had a springboard dropkick. Omega came back with punches, and then the match started. Omega came in the corner. Vikingo hit 2 kicks and leaping hurricane run off the top, while Omega kind of had to wait for a second.
Yeah, there's a bit of that.
Implosion hurricane run, right?
That was great. Yes. Yeah. It's ridiculous looking.
He hit double knees to knock Omega out of the ring. Shooting star off the apron.
Crazy.
Springboard 450 splash off the middle rope for 2. I think. It looked weird, but
yeah, a little bit.
It was cool though. He rotates really tight, so it's interesting. He knocked Vikingo down with punches, followed by a backbreaker for 2. Cradle suplex for 2. He sent Vikingo into the barricade, did Omega. He pulled the table out of the ring. After the commercial break, he was working Vikingo with punches. Then Vikingo got Hurricane Rana. They battled on the apron with chops. Omega kicked Vikingo to the turnbuckle. Omega did a monkey flip on the apron. He teased to move off the apron onto the table, but Vikingo got out of that and kicked Omega in the head. Then he did the Dragon Rana off the apron.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Back in the ring, he had a running form and kicked ahead while Omega was on the turnbuckle. Omega went for an avalanche powerbomb, but he countered with a Hurricane Rana, and Omega landed pretty high. That looked insane.
Yeah.
Then he did a springboard Phoenix splash outside in,
Crazy.
Which is pretty nuts. Vikingo came off the top. Omega caught him with the powerbomb, and then hit a V trigger. Omega hit a Snapdragon. So Snapdragon fought with another V trigger. Vikingo hit an elbow to get out of the move, and then jumped off the ropes. He did a dive into a poison Rana.
Yeah.
And then it looked kind of weird because Omega kind of crawled to the table, but that was okay because then he had a springboard 630 senton to the table on the outside
and inside out too, right?
Yeah, nearly hitting he kind of hit his head on the apron.
Crazy.
It's not hard. The rotation was insane. He rolled him back in, got a 2 count. They exchanged forearms, a knee from Omega, sunset flip powerbomb from Vikingo for 2. He went for a top rope 630. Omega moved, hit a V trigger, one-winged angel for the win.
Yeah, this match was a bit of a spectacle, right? This Vikingo isn't going to be for everybody. But sometimes I'm critical because Vikingo does count on his opponent sort of staying in place for a few of his moves, which normally would bother me. But when the result of that is such an incredible looking move, it really doesn't bother me that much. There was one on the apron where Omega kind of had to stand there, and then he kind of crawls to position himself on the table and wait. But when the payoff is something that I don't see or have never seen, then I'm fine with it, right? Vikingo is nuts. This was a great debut for him. This match was just super fun to watch. Kenny gave him a ton of offense, right? But still hit some of his signature stuff that always looks great. So thoroughly enjoyable main event and a really great introduction to, for a lot of people, to Vikingo, who is a small little guy. But I was really impressed with the sharpness of his kicks and stuff. Looked really good. And obviously, the aerial stuff is next level. He's a special talent, and I thought this was a great introduction to a lot of AEW fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was a great main event, super entertaining. My first time really seeing a Vikingo, and he was out to impress. A lot of credit to Omega for being the great hand he is, because he was a lot of catching Vikingo and being in the right place at the right time, which might be a little annoying, but when it's doing stuff like that, it's insane. The 630 through the table is going to be a great highlight clip forever. That was nuts. Some of the stuff he does, I don't know how anyone does that.
And he's only 25, right? So he's got a ton of time.
He's such a baby face.
It'll be interesting to see how long you can wrestle that style.
Yeah, but you can tell he's such a baby face looking guy. Yeah. With no AAA title on the line, though, I figured Omega would win.
Yeah.
And he's undefeated on Dynamite. But at least this was a Vikingo showcase. It was really nice and it was really cool. I think lived up to the billing.
Yeah. Overall, this episode, it wasn't a super strong episode, largely because I didn't really care for the opener. I didn't really care much about the women's match, but we did get an awesome main event. I did like Mox Stu Grayson match. Segment wise, there wasn't a lot that I thought was great either, right? Like, I don't know. The pillar stuff was good. That little hype package for Omega and Vikingo was cool. QTV was awful, obviously, and then everything else was just kind of in the middle. But based on the strength of the main event, and I did like the Mox Grace, and I think I can give it a solid B this week. Like, there were things I really liked. There was nothing I absolutely hated other than maybe the QTV segment, but everything else was just kind of in the middle for me. So I think it was a solid B. Like, I still enjoyed the show overall, but it wasn't an amazing episode this week.
I don't know. So it was kind of a mixed bag because the opener was not great, but we start the little bit at the beginning of the show was kind of cool with the Bucks. Oh wait, I forgot to mention after the match, Blackpool attacked
Right.
Omega, and then Hangman came in the ambulance
with a big
chased
old
them off.
board with a nail.
And then Callis made it look like he did like an Eddie Guerrero thing,
right,
to pit Omega against Hangman. So that's kind of brewing. So I like that. That was a cool end to the show, actually.
It took Hangman a lot longer than they thought to get there because it ended up with Blackpool Combat Club turning and facing the ramp when they could have kept beating on him for a little longer, right? And then also the only issue with the whole Callis thing is all Omega has to do is watch the footage, right?
Right,
and
but
realize,
maybe he trusts Don, and it's also been a while since he and Hangman have been on the same page,
right.
So
but yeah,
you can make the argument there.
But yeah,
that was a cool way to end the show.
It seems like there is this separation of Callis and Omega, like
it's brewing.
Yeah, it feels that way,
which is good.
Yep.
So yeah, the beginning of the show was fine. The opener was not good though. Tag title match was fine. Women's match no good. The no DQ match was fine. Like, it was, I never expected it to be like amazing, so that's fine. And then the main event was great. That was definitely the highlight in ring.
It was for sure.
Highlights on promos, like there were a couple solid packages, like the four pillars one and the Vikingo one for him and Omega, and like Cole was solid. Then like other promos, like Jade was not great. QTV no good. And I don't know, like nothing else was really amazing. Like I think it was like a solid show overall, but nothing great. So I'd go B, yeah.
Yep. All right, well, that will move us into our weekly trivia segment that we like to call Off the Top of His Head. All right, so this week we're going to, because I think it's coming up, right? It's Stand and Deliver. So I'm going to ask you to see what you remember about Stand and Delivers of the past. So
there's been two.
I was just going to say.
I didn't watch one of them. It's not fair.
First question, you didn't watch one of them?
I didn't watch the 2.0 one.
Oh, let's see.
It's not fair.
2.0 one.
The last year.
Oh, so let's see how much you know of at least the original, okay? Because you watched that. So what was interesting about Stand and Deliver? Was there anything special about it, the first one?
2 nights.
Correct. That's what I was looking for. So in the opening,
it was like in the week too. It was really weird. One of them was like the usual NXT slot, I think.
Oh, right.
And then I think one of them was the day after.
So in the opening of night 1, it was a women's match. Do you remember who was in it?
No.
One woman who's in AEW, one who's still in NXT.
Ember Moon and someone?
Nope. Tony Storm and Zoe Stark. I don't expect you to get that
one. No, not at all.
Singles match. Next, a men's singles match between, I don't know, a guy we're going to see at Impact when we go, and someone we both love. Kushida and someone that was in your news.
Pete Dunne.
Correct.
Really? That's what Pete Dunne did?
Yep. Do you remember who was in the 6-man gauntlet match?
LA Knight.
Winner receiving a North American Championship match on night 2.
Bronson Reed.
He won, correct?
He won, yeah. LA Knight.
Correct. Oh, I forgot one of the people for sure.
I'll know when I hear it.
Okay, so you have Reed and Knight.
Okay. Grimes.
Correct.
Okay.
One in AEW now who we really like.
Swerve.
Correct.
I figured he was in it, but I wasn't sure. Leon Ruff.
Leon Ruff. I was gonna have trouble describing him. Yep. And then one on main roster now. A silent boy.
Oh, really, Loomis?
Yep. Then we had a singles match for the NXT UK Championship.
Oh yeah, that was Walter and Ciampa.
Correct. I forgot all about that, to be honest.
That was the one he won with the chop.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Then there was, which we loved because it makes sense with the
beating and it was unique, so that was cool.
Triple threat tag team match for the vacant NXT Tag Team Championship.
Yes, that would have been MSK.
Correct.
GYV.
Correct.
and Legado.
Correct. Very good. And then the main event of that night was a singles match for the NXT Women's Championship.
That's what I thought it was. Yeah, it was Raquel and Io.
Correct. And Raquel won that one, right? So night 2.
I remember being kind of sad about that.
Night 2, I would never get this. We had a tag team match where the winner received a future NXT Tag Team Championship match. Good luck. Good luck.
All right. Lorcan and Birch.
No, I want to say it's a team returning from main roster.
Okay.
Against
Breezango.
Correct.
They would have been there for a bit. I think it was around that time when they were there.
Against like an odd couple.
Oh, Dana and Maverick.
Correct.
I remember that.
I forgot they were together too. Ladder match for the undisputed NXT Cruiserweight Championship.
Devlin and Escobar.
Correct.
Oh, sweet. Devlin should have won that.
Tag team match for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship.
Would have been Moon and Shotzi.
Correct.
Was it the Way?
It was the Way.
Okay. They didn't win that one, but
singles match for the North American Championship.
Oh, it would have been Reed and Gargano.
Correct.
So okay, that one answers itself.
Singles match for the NXT Championship, not the main event.
Cross and Balor.
Correct. And then unsanctioned match was the main event.
Cole and O'Reilly.
Nice. Excellent. All right.
I don't like Karrion
let's
Kross.
see what I forgot you didn't watch this one.
I, for one, don't like Karrion Kross.
So this way you'll not do well on this, which is always my goal on these trivias, right? So you'll probably still do okay. So last year's then tag team match opener for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship.
Toxic Attraction.
Correct. They actually lost.
Oh, right. Kyle Gonzalez.
Wow.
I saw that. That was the pre-show.
Okay.
I remember seeing that.
Oh, it was pre-show. There is a P beside it. It says 1P. Okay, ladder match for the NXT North American Championship.
That was Grimes because he won.
Correct.
Mello.
Yeah. You're doing well.
No, this would have been... I know Wesley's not in it.
Nope. 2 guys on main roster now. And the final guy, I didn't think he was around that long. Like, because he's still in NXT, but he was there then. So 2 main roster dudes.
Got called up.
One bigger guy, one guy we really like.
Part Holland?
No, Santos.
Oh, okay. Escobar and then...
Sikoa.
Really?
And then one guy that's on NXT still and is being featured a lot lately, actually, a heel.
Wagner?
Nope.
I thought he was in it.
Obnoxious heel. That I
Waller?
like. Yeah, Waller.
Really?
I'm like, that seems too early for Waller to be prominent.
He was been around.
He's been
around
I guess
like
so.
The whole 2.0. Like, he was around at the first War Games before this.
The next one is just a singles match, but to give you a hint, the one guy is seconded by a guy who was barely there, but I thought was
it's Angelo and Ciampa.
Oh,
right?
you know.
Yeah. That was Ciampa's last
with
match.
Galante was some of the worst promos I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
So then we had a triple threat tag team match for the
MSK,
Yep.
Imperium.
Yep.
Was it Creed's?
It was Creed's.
No, I know MSK won that because that was
That's
before
right.
Carter was
So you
booted.
apparently don't even have to watch stuff to know a lot. Fatal 4-way for the women's championship.
Mandy Rose.
Correct. That's easy.
Would Io still be there?
Io was there. Yep.
Zoe?
Nope.
No? Oh, no, she would have probably been injured.
Because she is a lot. 2 more.
Kaylee Ray?
Yep. I was going to say one really young and one a veteran. You got the veteran already. One really young.
Jade?
Cora Jade's correct.
Oh, gross.
A singles match. Does that help you? With 2
Okay.
guys. Sorry.
Okay.
Now on main roster.
LA Knight.
Correct. And a current main roster champion.
Gunther?
Correct.
Really? That's so weird.
And the main event, which I'm sure you remember, was for the NXT Championship.
Yeah, Dolph Ziggler and Breaker.
Very good.
That's funny.
So you knew a lot, even though as soon as you're like, I didn't even watch that, I'm like, oh no, I picked a really bad topic, but
I didn't think I
didn't really
I might have
matter.
saw some of it. I know I watched the pre-show and I don't think I really cared.
All right, well, timing is okay. We got to get through our final segment this week, which will be where we look at whatever else we watched and liked and didn't like from those shows, and that is what we call Highspots and Restholds. All right, so you start us off because Monday's the first day, and that's when Raw is, and that's all you. So what do you got for Raw?
I hope they're calling it WrestleMania SmackDown again next week.
Ugh, awesome. Great news.
I'll talk about that when I get to SmackDown, I guess. Actually, I wanna mention it now.
Well, let's go. What do you got?
Okay, I'm just gonna talk about the Andre Battle Royal quick because I just saw that I did hear about it, but I didn't actually see anything announced. So I got like the full lineup.
Yeah.
So there's some surprising ones in here. But I'll Go from top 6. So we got Legado del Fantasma. I don't think Esco. No, they're all in there. Okay, so all 3 of them.
Yep.
Maximum Male Models. So all makes sense so far. OC. Yeah, makes sense. Shelton and Cedric.
Okay.
Los Lotharios. Hit Row. I forgot their name for a second. Loomis. Brawling Brutes. Sans Sheamus, of course. So poor Pete Dunne. Dolph Ziggler, Mustafa Ali, Boogs, Elias, Madcap Moss, Bronson Reed, Happy Corbin, Gargano, Xavier Woods, and then some of them surprised me. There's Karrion Kross, LA Knight, and Bobby Lashley.
Feels like a Bronson Reed win, maybe.
Maybe, or I would say Lashley. I would give it to. Honestly, I would give it to LA Knight.
If he's been losing a lot lately,
he just beat Mysterio by distraction roll up. So,
nice.
But I'd give it to LA Knight. I heard though that the backup plan for Lashley is him and LA Knight. So I feel like you do the most last minute build you've ever done, and you use the Battle Royal to put them together. I'd hope not, because I'd honestly just give the win to LA Knight, because I feel like it doesn't mean a lot, but I think it
means very little.
I think it'd be just cool for him.
Yeah,
I think it'd be good. Very, very small high spot from Raw is Edge had a promo when he told Balor to bring his demon.
Yeah, of course.
Purple Demon, baby.
Yep.
Let's go.
But he's going to lose.
It's happening. I don't care. Purple Demon.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I mean, the demon shouldn't lose, but Purple Demon. So,
That's
make
cool.
a figure, Purple Demon.
Got to.
Yeah, and Purple Demon. So that'll be cool, because Purple Demon. Just like, because most of the time it's red or a little bit of blue.
I'm colorblind. I don't care.
Gray, but Purple Demon.
Won't matter to me.
Purple Cell.
Anything else from Raw?
Purple Cell? Purple Hell in a Cell? No?
Sure.
No? Okay. Resthold, Logan Paul with another whack cheap shot. Doesn't look good. I hate
you
it.
don't like his strikes at all.
Well, he just throws it and is like, like it's just
the irony is he's a boxer.
Exactly,
right?
And it looks like crap.
Yeah.
But Rollins sells the crap out of it, though.
Of course.
So kudos to him.
Yep.
The rest of it is SmackDown.
Okay, so NXT, I thought was a really solid episode overall, and you actually saw a couple things I think you were around for. A high spot right off the bat, I thought an entertaining segment to set up the main event for the night. So you got Pretty Deadly in the ring. They're complaining about losing to Gallus and getting put through a table by Breaker and Hayes at the end of last week's show. And then Trick and Mello come out, and Trick does the talking, basically. And he ends up setting up a match between Pretty Deadly, Hayes, and Breaker. And you can see Hayes is like surprised by this. Like, why are you booking me in a match with Breaker as a partner? But then in a later segment that I'll talk about now, Trick explains that, and that he says he's putting Hayes in a position basically to closely observe Braun, right? And see exactly what he does from the ring apron, which is reasonable, right? Ahead of their title match. And then at the same time, they get to sort of dispose of Pretty Deadly, who have been sort of annoying them lately.
That'd be a fun team.
So I thought everybody here did a good job. They're all good performers, and Trick is really coming into his own.
I know. I wish they could bring the Dudley Boys back and have Pretty Deadly do a parody, and that they would be Pretty Dudley.
Pretty Dudley. I'm wondering if they're moving towards Trick and Mello separating, because Mello is really leaning into babyface in this feud with Braun, and Trick seems to work better as a heel and seems to be sort of doing things without consulting Mello, so maybe that's going to lead to some friction there.
Mello should be heel.
I don't think Trick's ready in ring to be feuding with Mello, especially if Mello's the champ, but Trick's a great talker.
Should be heel.
I know, but it's not looking that way.
I know, but it might be like one of those throw-off things.
Could be. And then another high spot that was a bit of a surprise to me, I thought the women's match between Indy Hartwell and Tiffany Stratton was pretty good. It got 9 minutes. And it wasn't perfect, but they had a really solid competitive match. Stratton obviously wins as expected. At one point, Hartwell took like a really awkward-looking fall off the apron. There was a couple this week. This was the first one. And Stratton just seems to be adding more stuff every week. Like, she's picking this thing up really. It reminds me of like, kind of like Kurt Angle, where she's just picking everything up really, really quickly. She's a star in the making for sure. She's exactly what they're looking for, right? In this. And then another high spot, I thought it was a very Lucha Underground style vignette. It really had that cinematic feel, and it was Lyra Valkyria, who she sort of was about to enter a feud with Cora Jade, but Jade's gone, so they've been sort of struggling, I think, with what to do with Lyra. So they had her training in like an abandoned building and like running upstairs, and at one point she even runs through a window, like crashes through a window. I just thought it looked really cool. I don't know if I like her character or what it's doing, this whole like, not that she is a bird, but that she's very like likes birds and has a lot of feathers and stuff. So I think she's cool in ring. So I'm hoping they sort out what they're going to do with her. Another high spot was Tiffany Stratton coming back again. She saved us from a Gigi Dolan interview with Mackenzie. Gigi sounds bad to me. I don't know. I see people that think she's really good and like poised to be.
I doubt it, based on what I saw from Toxic.
I don't see it, right? So Stratton interrupted to basically say that she's going to win the ladder match, and then she had her Tiffany epiphany, so she's already got her little catchphrases that are kind of cute, right? And then she does this thing, toodles, whenever she's done, which gets me every time. I think she's super entertaining. Resthold, I know you're going to be shocked to hear this. There's more of the Kiana James, Fallon Henley nonsense. So going back to last week, Fallon Henley wants to tell Jensen about this Sebastian that was all over James' agenda when they broke into her office. I feel stupid even recapping all of this stuff. And then James, I think it might have been the second segment, it doesn't matter, says that she wants it has to come from her. And I don't know. So James in the second segment like saves Fallon Henley from an attack by Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. So I don't really know. It got multiple segments again, and it's been that way for, I'm going to say, months, and I still don't care. It just doesn't get my attention. It feels really juvenile. Like hey guys, we really need to hit that like 9 to 12 demographic hard. So this is, I don't know. It's just not for me.
Which you are.
It's not for me, and it's taken a really long time to play out. So then I have, even my note says mega high spot. Takeover level match. Like, I absolutely love this match minus the finish, but whatever. So this was Dragunov and JD McDonough, just almost 15 minutes of them just beating the hell out of each other, and the crowd is super into this. Unfortunately, ended in a no contest. So Dragon Lee, who's in NXT now, he's at ringside, sitting with commentary, not on commentary, just to watch the match. So he accidentally gets run into by each man, and then that's enough for him, and a brawl ensues, and the match is thrown out. So I absolutely love the action in this up to the finish, but the finish is almost worth it because out of that ending, we then get Dragunov and McDonough added to the ladder match, right, at Stand and Deliver.
How did the finish happen again?
Which is, so basically, Dragon Lee's watching, and as the action's outside, and someone, I don't know if they were going to run him into the barricade, or if they run into Dragon Lee, and then the other person accidentally runs into Dragon Lee too, so then he just is like pissed off, and they start fighting, and it gets thrown out. So they're added to the ladder match, which is looking awesome. I don't know who the fifth is going to be. I think there's a battle royal next week for it, right?
There's spoilers for next week.
I was hoping it was Axiom, but we'll see. So there was one spot in this, this was the second scary fall through the ropes. It was almost reminiscent of the time Enzo hurt himself really bad going through the ropes, but obviously Dragunov was okay. But this was like a great match. Like, this is one where you go find it and watch it if you don't watch it. It's just a 5-way,
right? Is this one a ladder match too, or
yes.
is it? It is.
Is it ladder?
The women's one is.
The women's is.
Is this one?
I feel like it is, but I could be wrong.
I don't know.
That could be.
I would hope so. Check
it.
But
you got time while I'm talking.
Have a million ladder matches.
I added this match to my list of stuff I love from 2023, and it didn't even have a finish to it. So just these two guys, they've worked together a ton. Their chemistry's amazing. This match was great. I loved it. I put this as a high spot. You watched it, and I saw you laugh as well. Big Body Javi comes to the ring, and
what did he say that made me laugh?
I think it was because I know he said Gargano's been out for 12 months, while Javi's been the soul of NXT and has been fighting for 7 years. Like 7 months, and something about like he even put out a Christmas album, and has Gargano done that? I don't know what it was. Something made us chuckle anyways.
It was something funny.
But then obviously Gargano shows up, and I thought he had really great intensity in his promo, like appropriate because Grayson Waller's been at his house messing with his family, right? So I thought Gargano did a really good job in his promo there, and it's setting up.
It's just same Fatal 5-Way match, so I don't know. If it's
no ladder probably.
Setting
up an unsanctioned match at Stand and Deliver, right? And then Waller shows up on the Tron, agrees to the match as long as Gargano gives the contract to Vic Joseph, who can give it to Waller next week. I guess he doesn't want to interact with Gargano ahead, but like Javi's, there's a spot for him, right? Like, he's this comedy guy who doesn't ever need to win and just gets killed by people, but he does a good job here, I thought. And I think you saw this as well. I put it as a high spot just because it's Carl Fredericks gets a vignette ahead of his debut in NXT. It was kind of a cool like Native American motif happening, but then remember there's like DJ. We were joking about like it's the indigenous DJ.
I just saw him on Level Up. It was playing.
But I like him, and I always welcome new talent, especially when it's an experienced wrestler and not like an athlete coming here. You know what I mean? It's actually somebody who is a good wrestler, who I'm looking forward to. I don't like the name. Do you remember his name?
Eddie Thorpe.
Right. I don't like it, but I'm sure I'll get used to it. There's been tons of names I don't like that I end up getting used to. So another talented performer coming to NXT, which I think is cool. Resthold, just because I was hoping for more, was a women's squash match pretty much. I was surprised. Lyra Valkyria, a little bit surprisingly to me, beat Ivy Nile in less than 3 minutes. I don't think there was anything wrong with it, but again, I was just hoping for something longer, and it feels like, is the bloom off the rose for Ivy Nile? Because it felt like she was someone they were kind of protecting.
Yeah, at least from what I remember.
Right? So I'm happy because I really think Valkyria is good. So, but this isn't what I expected, and I'm curious what the plan is for Ivy Nile going forward. Big rest hold for me. Were you around for the great debate? Had you left at that point? I can't remember.
What?
So the great debate between Sounds Like Not, Chase U, and Schism.
I heard about it. I didn't watch it, no.
The whole thing was a pretty big waste of time for me. It starts out, Hudson's debating first, and his heart isn't in it. He's just kind of like, blah, 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 or whatever. Then Ava does her part. I thought she sounded awful. Then you get the other guys from Schism speaking their normal, like, gibberish nonsense. And then somehow Tyler Bate gets a spot in the debate on Chase U's side.
Is there any way we can get Pete Dunne and GYV back?
No, I don't think so.
Just Pete Dunne? Okay.
And then, so it all ends up, we're going to get a match between Schism and Chase plus Tyler Bate at Stand and Deliver with Chase University on the line, so Hudson
that's like the Kiana James, Fallon Henley thing.
Hudson kind of overstepped his bounds and made the match for the university, and I don't know how Andre Chase feels about it, but I'm wondering, since Hudson put the school on the line, could he finally turn on Chase and cost them the school, right? Is this where this is heading, sort of thing?
Spooky school?
Oh God. I'm not sure I care too much, and Tyler Bate just seems kind of tacked on here since he doesn't have anything else to do.
And since Chase, you were down a person.
Right. So this got a lot of time and led to a match I'm not interested in. But anyways, Highspot, I thought the main event was good. It was that Pretty Deadly versus Mello and Braun. Everybody looked pretty good. Mello, it seems like he's even better shape, like he's more ripped than usual. We got
He's back to trunks.
We got a Braun spear and a Mello leg drop for the expected win.
Talk about his trunks.
After 12 minutes. Don't care about people's trunks or colors or things like that.
Well, because the tights look dumb.
I don't really notice at all.
Sorry, the trunks are shorter. Like, you can see part of his legs.
I understand, but I don't notice.
But like his legs.
I get it. Sorry, I got to keep moving, man. I got like 20 minutes to get out of this house. So Impact, I did watch. I didn't watch ROH this week. I still may go back and see it. I just didn't have time to get it before recording. I thought a solid 6-man opener. Kushida, Motor City Machine Guns defeated the Design when Angels tapped to the hoverboard lock. I thought everybody but Khan looked good. He's really boring, and I don't know why they felt the need to sign him, unless they just wanted a big guy, I guess. I don't know. But I've been pointing it out for a while, right? Motor City Machine Guns are cheating a lot. They're not heels, but they cheat all the time, and they did in this, including leading to the finish. Kushida, not so much, but the Guns are definitely kind of rule-breaking, and I don't quite understand. I don't mind. They're not presented as heels, so it's kind of interesting to me. Highspot, I really liked the women's match between Purrazzo and Savannah Evans. Another one that I thought kind of over-delivered. I preferred it to the opener, actually. Nice contrast to styles. You've got the technician in Purrazzo and the monster powerhouse in Evans.
I saw she had like bangs or something.
Evans is who?
I think it's Evans.
Oh, I didn't. Maybe. Another thing I don't notice. Evans is really growing on me. This is at least 2 matches. I forget the other one. I feel like it might have been with Jordan Grace or another powerhouse. But anyways, I've really liked her. She could be a monster for this company if they build her right. I think she's pretty good. Anyways, Purrazzo won the match. Was kind of a sloppy-looking crucifix. Like she didn't quite get one of the arms hooked, and Evans still went over anyways. But the match itself I thought was pretty good. And then a mega rest hold, which I actually made you watch, was Taya's written off of Impact. Did you want to summarize that for everybody? I
still don't get it.
But so basically, it was the Death Dolls and Rosemary, or are they all the Death Dolls? I guess they're all the Death Dolls. Talking, I think it was that Rosemary's actually magical, and the Coven are humans who are
practicing magic,
dabbling in magic or whatever. I'm not entirely
they
sure.
ain't really magical,
but lots of
right?
magic talk, which everybody knows is my favorite thing.
It's
Is
everyone's favorite
when we go supernatural magic stuff. But within that, Havoc makes some really great points. We've always been saying, and it made me laugh a little because she's like, if we can do magic, why don't we win all of our matches? Like, we can teleport and stuff. So I'm like, yes, Havoc, exactly. But anyways, Havoc ends up running away.
And they don't really acknowledge that, do they?
No. That was just, I thought it was really funny that she pointed that out. So Taya ends up chasing Havoc because Havoc runs away. They end up encountering a coffin with a light in it and a hand sort of reaching out of it. And Taya's like, no, don't go towards the light. And then she positions herself between Havoc.
Where she's back facing to the coffin.
Between the coffin
which is smart.
Right. And the hand, I guess, pulls her into the coffin. The lid closes, and Havoc, rather than helping your friend and maybe opening the coffin and seeing what's going on, just runs away. So this is the end of Taya on Impact. And this was like, I feel like this will be on WrestleCrap or whatever that is, because it's just a lazy way of writing her off. Like, this is some magical coffin she got. I don't know. It's all terrible. Other than Havoc's comments about the magic not helping them win matches, which I thought was pretty funny. So just, I don't know, if like Taya's departure caught them off guard or something and they just had to do this or what. But anyways, it was pretty lame. I actually rewound so that you could watch it with me.
Yeah.
You're welcome. And then on Impact, really not much else of note. Bully Ray and Masha Slamovich defeated Tommy Dreamer and Mickey James in like average match.
You mean new GCW champion, Masha Slamovich?
Exactly. She's awesome. I love her. But
that's like a Taya Valkyrie thing.
She's trapped.
Tessa Blanchard.
She's tangled up with Bully Ray and Dreamer, which is awful for her. But anyway, she's cool as heck.
Gets her on TV, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Moose and Brian Myers defeated Hendry and Dirty Dango, which was whatever. And then there was that, I mentioned it before, a final segment with Macklin and Alexander, which was kind of cool because Alexander's kind of like, you keep saying you never got any opportunities, but you're kind of ducking opportunities. And then Macklin kind of admits, yeah, I've been waiting to pick my spot. And then it shows footage of him. He's been like behind the scenes watching Alexander's matches and whatever, waiting for his opportunity, which he's not going to get now. But anyways. So an okay episode of Impact, but nothing major. And then that's it for me. So if you have any SmackDown, feel free.
High spot. I saw Butch versus Gunther was on SmackDown. Highlights look solid. I watched like the little bit of that.
That would be awesome, actually.
So because when's that ever gonna be bad?
Right.
And when he's Pete Dunne, I'm saying throw him a title match.
Me too.
And dare I say he beats Gunther someday?
I'd be okay with it.
Like I think that'd be a cool full circle thing with Triple H and Control. It's actually possible because he'll maybe remember and he'll also care about it. Maybe.
Possibly. Although there's still rumors that Vince
I heard they edited a segment out where they said wrestling.
Oh no! So that's a sign Vince's fingerprints are back on the product, maybe, which is not good for anybody.
My wrestle from SmackDown is so they got 4-way tag showcase matches, like I told you at.
Yeah.
So the men's one's already set. I think it's Alpha Academy, Street Profits.
Two others.
Two others. I know it too.
I can't even think of tag teams, to be honest. That's how much I pay attention to main roster right now.
I swear I know. I swear I know who's in it. I don't think the Brutes are in it. God,
you know everything about wrestling you weren't even
Hold
born
on.
for.
Okay,
but
wait.
When it comes to knowing current matches, you blank.
I need to Google quick because so there's a men's tag team showcase and then there's a women's tag team showcase. So they're both like 4-way tags. Okay, there's the women's one. I don't care about that one. I need Okay, that's why I don't remember. Okay, so Street Profits and Alpha Academy I got. Then Viking Raiders because they don't do anything.
Right.
And Ricochet and Braun Strowman. No wonder I didn't remember that. I don't know why they're a team.
I have to remember Viking Raiders for when we do because I was gonna do like when we make our own promotions. We draft like underused people. I'd have to remember Viking Raiders.
So then the women's one, the first team to qualify. For some reason, there's qualifiers for the women's and not men's, but whatever.
Okay.
So Liv Morgan and Raquel already qualified.
Well, because there's so many women's teams. Right, it's such a deep division.
And then Ronda and Shayna are in. I don't even know if they qualified, but that's okay. Baszler's on Mania. That's fine. Mm-hmm. And then you want to guess. So this is a Resthold. Guess what team just qualified on SmackDown?
Shotzi.
Mm-hmm.
And who's she with?
It's not good.
Shotzi and Evans, the blonde one?
No.
Who?
Shotzi and Natalia. That's
Dream
just
team.
bad.
Dream team.
That's so bad.
It's not great.
I mean, it's better than like if Shotzi brought in Aaliyah, but like that's just bad.
Nice.
And then the last high spot was I saw like they had a video package recapping Zayn and Owens reunion on last week's SmackDown and then them challenging the Usos on Raw.
Yep.
I'd say you should check that if you
To
want
get the match
caught,
we
if you
want.
want to get caught up.
Yeah, I probably
that
will.
was really nice actually.
I usually stay caught up on Bloodline, Sami Zayn.
And
stuff.
they got so you know he does the KO Mania shirt every year. So he's got that with like the Hollywood logo, but it's on the back of the shirt because the front of the shirt is the Mania logo. It's WrestleZania.
That's good.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's good.
That's funny. I'd get that.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it.
Yeah.
Gives me a few minutes to do whatever little production I do on this and get this episode out there for all of you.
Get the hell out of
And
my
then-
house.
That's right. Get back to Toronto for a basketball game and then
I'll do
the same thing again tomorrow, other than recording. More basketball tomorrow, but less recording.
Fine.
But anyways, thanks to anyone who took some time out of their week to listen to the two of us down here talking about wrestling. We really do appreciate it. If you'd like to contact us, fnswrestling@gmail.com, FNS_wrestling_podcast on Instagram. Leave a comment on YouTube if you want. Any comment anywhere will get a reply. I can virtually promise you I always reply because I don't get many, so it doesn't take much time out of my day. But I will always reply.
And they're
if you
really
send us
easy to
anything.
find them. It's not like a needle haystack thing.
No. We hope you have a great week. We'll see you back here next Saturday for episode 141.
WrestleMania preview day.
Will be it. It'll probably be a beefier episode next week. And until then, take care.